that. Are we ready? All right, are we ready, ladies? Here, I will start my timer. 20 minutes, starting now. All right, so my name is Brenda Munden, and I live over here in North Fort Worth / Keller, over in the village of Woodland Springs. And I am 40 years old and have an 11-year-old daughter. And I'm very excited today to talk to y'all about your health and wellness and what all that means to each and every one of us in our crazy, busy lives. To do that, though, I kind of wanted to start at my foundation. I was a gymnast in high school. I had a love for fitness back then, and I went off to college because I wanted to be an FBI profiler. I am 40, so this is all before Criminal Minds and, all CSI and all these shows. I just felt like I had this deep calling that I wanted to help somebody or help people, whether that be psychologically with what they're dealing with, or finding a missing child or a missing family member, or unfortunately someone. I don't know where this love of wanting to be in the FBI, but I just knew I wanted to help people, and for whatever reason, that's what I stuck with. So I got a degree in psychology and criminal justice. Fast forward a little bit into college, was on on Depo-Provera, if y'all ever heard that, the birth control shot, and bloated up quite a bit. Still was a short, small person, but I looked like I had got stung by a bee. I was joking about this earlier. So it kind of messed with my self-confidence a little bit, but I just kept pushing forward, continued love working out. Fast forward a little bit later, realized I didn't want to be in the FBI. It was not the path I thought the Lord wanted me on, and I didn't know what to do. Met my husband, or ex-husband, and just kind of gave all those dreams away, and just kind of floated along, kept getting pushed and pulled in and out of medical sales. I dealt with respiratory patients, dealt with pulmonologists and radiologists and cardiologists, and so got a great deal of education in health and wellness. Fast forward a little bit further, unfortunately marriage isn't going so well. I have now moved to Keller at this point. I grew up around here, so I grew up in North Richland Hills. I went to Halton High School, so this area is still familiar to me. And my ex-husband was the cook in the house. And he, looking back on it now, was going through his own depression. So I quit going to the gym because he did not want to watch our child. Now, I want y'all to know I'm not placing blame. I made the decision to not go to the gym. I made the decision to eat his very, very good Southern cooking at 9 o'clock at night, because that's when he cooked it, when he got it from his nap. So, gained a little bit of weight. Things are kind of going downhill a little bit, and still don't really have a job I don't like. Back into sales again, which thankfully they were relationship type of jobs, because that's what I did. I wasn't the buy this from me kind of person. It was build a relationship, because I love people. Towards the end of my marriage, my sister was getting married in Jamaica, and I didn't want to go to Jamaica looking fluffy, as I like to call it. So I happened to run into my now best friend's wife, and she said, "Oh, my husband's a personal trainer. He trains out of the house. Why don't you come check him out?" So my sister paid for a month's worth of training sessions that he did out of his house. And so at that point, he does all my calculations, and he says, "Did you used to be," very politely, of course, and we're talking about my best friend at this point now, because I just met him. "You used to be a fit person." I'm like, "Well, kind of. But I was what you would call skinny fat at that point. My body fat percentage had gone up to 34, which nobody really gets that, because everybody concentrates so much on the outside, not what's on the inside. So nobody, even myself, I knew I felt bad. I knew that I was lethargic and wasn't who I thought I was. So I started working out with him, and it was a good trip. I didn't get where I wanted to go. Didn't really change any of my habits. Fast forward again, divorce, another job change, and I decided that 2 blueberry muffins and a Coke every single morning at 7-Eleven on the way to work was, good breakfast. So my cholesterol at this point was 220, always had been my entire adult life. I just thought it was hereditary. All my family members said I had cholesterol. There's nothing I could do about that. I continued to eat the way I did, continued to sporadically work out as, you know, Chad poked at me. That's his name. I'm sorry, I didn't say his name. Poked at me. It was like, what's going on? What's going on? You know, you don't seem well. Finally, I go to the doctor. Let me back up. I start having gastrointestinal issues worse than normal. I've always had irritable bowel syndrome, or at that point I didn't know what it was. Tested me, you know, ins and outs, tubes, and, you know, you don't want to even know. Thought I had Crohn's disease, thought I had colitis, you name it. They thought it turned out it was just irritable bowel syndrome, which basically means your intestines go fast, your intestines go slow, back and forth, back and forth. And that had been happening since college. Never thought I'd think about it. They put me on anti-anxiety meds to slow my intestines down. Well, guess what? They slowed them down a little too much. So then I had IBS with constipation. I know y'all want to know all this. It's very important. This is a very important part of the story. So I was lucky if I was able to go to the bathroom every 12 days or so. I guess that probably went on for about 3 years. But it started to get so bad, I went to the doctor, and my cholesterol had gone up to 297. I was pre-diabetic. At that point, I was probably about the time, that was about the time that I had gained about 50 pounds. And so I reached out to Chad, and we did all the testing. My body fat had gone up 10 more %. I was at 44% body fat. So this is where this picture is right there. Doesn't look, it's 50 pounds heavier than what I am now, and 30% heavier than what I had begun, or I guess where I am now. But it was because I was carrying it all on the inside. We get so focused on the scale and how much we weigh instead of how we feel, how we feel in our own skin. And that's really what I want to talk about today, is more our internal health rather than our external health. I had a lady not too long ago say, I would take your before any day. And I said, no, you really wouldn't. You think you would, but you wouldn't, because it's such a visual thing. And I was more sickly, so I started asking her medical history. No, not even pre-diabetic. My sugars are great, my triglycerides are great, blah, blah, blah. But when you carry your fat on the inside around the organs, I know we spoke about this, it starts damaging everything. It starts weighing everything down. It starts weighing your bladder down, everything that comes along with all of our womanly stuff. It inhibits hormonal issues, you name it. And so I was just like, I've got to do something. About that time, Chad came across a friend who had just recently been introduced to Beachbody and Shakeology. So that's kind of where my journey began. He was like, you've got to fix your health. So it wasn't even about weight loss. At that point, I didn't know that it was really about body fat percentage. It was about healthy. I wanted to be a better role model for my daughter and feed her better and learn how to make that lifestyle change. So he finally, after a while, I was doing another product that I was spending $200 a month, or I don't know, something crazy, and pills after shake, after this, after that, and nothing had changed internally. So I gave it a chance. I got a program because I knew I couldn't afford for him to train me on a daily basis, and I didn't really have the motivation to get back in the gym at this point. So I started drinking the shake. That's all I did. Maybe we'd do a workout every once in a while in one of my videos. But I wasn't a video girl because I like to go to the gym and do classes. I just fought that. But went back to the doctor 3 months later. My cholesterol had gone from 297 in 3 months to 194. Never had seen it under 200 in my entire adult life. My IBS was gone. I was completely good there. My anxiety levels because I did have a little bit of anxiety, as we all have, but had kind of leveled out. And my doctor said, what the heck are you doing? And I thought, well, maybe there is something to this thing. So kind of stuck with it, and I thought, well, my mom is like 200, I don't know, at that point she was like 270 something. And so I thought, okay, I got to help her. And so her and I started working together. She started drinking the Shakeology as well, down 73 pounds. I should have brought her a picture. And she has held it off for the last 6 years. We have an agreement right now. She's kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit and not been taking care of herself as well. And so we're gonna go skydiving in May. It's kind of veering off shore here. So she's been wanting to go. We tried to go 2 years ago, but she couldn't go. She met their weight limit because we had worked hard and got her where she wanted to be because the whole skydiving thing was her idea. We get there and the winds kept going like this, and they said, I'm sorry, you're too close to the weight limit. If the winds die down as you're having to land, you could break your ankle or worse. So she had to watch us go and do it, and it just broke my heart. And I thought, I've got to do this. And as I'm helping my mom continue to try to lose some of that weight, I was like, I love this. I found my calling. I can empower others, women specifically, to learn about taking better care of themselves and not caring so much about the number on the scale as how you feel on the inside. So that's what I'm here for, is to talk a little bit more about internal health. I know you ladies can totally understand where I'm coming from. So I want to talk to you a little bit about nutrition. I am in the process of getting another nutrition certification. I became a personal trainer, kind of bebopped a little bit, I apologize, but I became a personal trainer 4 years ago, thanks to Chad. He owns a personal trainer school, and he really nudged me into taking that next step in my education. And honestly, I only did it for the education. I had no inclination at all to be a trainer in the gym. I just wanted the education to help my customers that I dealt with online. I wanted to be more knowledgeable when they came and asked me questions. Well, that kind of spiraled into one of my other guy best friends was like, okay, get me in the gym. And then I worked full time. I came home every night, went straight to the gym, went straight to the computer, single mommed it, and I have slowly but surely built a business that I've now coined Fun Size Fitness. All of us want to be fun size, so it doesn't matter what your size is as long as you're fun, right? So that's your fun size. I love living life with laughs and smiles and good times, and we have a fun time at the gym. But I can only do so much. I can only hold your hand so far. I can only encourage you and empower you and make fun little memes or silly little videos to get you encouraged to get out and move or go to the gym or do a video at home or go walking with a friend. I can only do so much with what you put in your mouth. And there's so much misinformation out there, and I find things all the time that I thought this and now I'm learning this. Just like with fat. Fat was so bad. The whole government went through a whole era of all this low fat stuff and putting all this artificial stuff into our foods because fat was bad. Guess what? Fat's not bad. Fat's good. You should have healthy fats in your diet. So my rule of thumb is, if you don't know what's on the back of that package and it looks like a big, chemistry word, you probably shouldn't eat it. But you've got to start somewhere, right? So I'm an advocate of baby steps. I'm not one of those trainers or coaches that says, all right, here's the meal plan, you got to stick with it, and you can't veer off of it ever. You can't ever eat that piece of pizza because you love pizza. You can't ever have, cupcakes. These are my favorites. But yes, I do eat them. I try to keep them at a minimum because as you learn to eat better, your body, your palate cleans out, which is kind of the point. Our society has shoved so much junk, and we all know this, into our foods, all this salt, all this sugar. Does anybody know how much sugar you're supposed to actually eat in a day? How many grams of sugar you really are supposed to have? 25 grams. That's a happy spot, okay? That's just somebody that really eats, pretty clean, okay? Most of us, I would be happy if my clients meet at 40 or 50. Do you know how much sugar was in those 2 blueberry muffins and that Coke that I drink every single day for over a year? Or not every single day, but pretty darn close to it.
Probably about 45.
Oh, no.
Per.
Oh, per. Yeah. So we're hitting it a good 125 grams of sugar in one meal. We're not talking about anything else I ate the rest of the day. Forget when I ate all that white rice all the time and the bread that I love Rosa's. Me and Rosa's got married in December, and I have divorced Rosa's. Yes. Rosa tortillas I have an issue with. Anyway, the point is slowly starting to learn what you can do about your health, because I could work your butt off in the gym. You could do Insanity or P90X or Quarter Force or PIO or whatever program at home or at the gym or whatnot. But if you're still putting the same stuff into your body, you're only either delaying the inevitable. In my case, it was internal health. It wasn't so much the external health. It wasn't that I was 200 pounds overweight or whatever. It was what was going on the inside of my body, and that's what was killing me. So simple changes you can make. Fruit. How much fruit do y'all eat? Lots of fruit. I mean, fruit's healthy, right? Every single day? So, fruit is nature's candy. It's good for you. It's got fiber. It's got antioxidants. It's got minerals. It's everything that God made it for a reason. Earth is good for you. But we go to all these juice bars. Guess what the juice bars do? Well, yeah, and they don't put it on there. But they juice it. That's my biggest issue, is when you juice something, you're not getting the pulp and the fiber. So your body doesn't digest sugar the same way it would if it was a whole piece of fruit, if it was at a whole food. But regardless, even when you eat it as a whole food, what's the difference between, I should have brought something, an apple and, say, a candy bar?
Apple is from nature.
Right, it's got all the good stuff in it. The candy bar doesn't have the good stuff in it, but your body still processes the sugar the exact same way. It's still sugar, just like rice, just like any of your simple carbohydrates. It still turns to sugar in your body. So that's where I find a lot of my clients make their mistakes is, oh, but I eat 5 servings of fruit a day because fruit is good. Well, then when you start adding up all the sugar, bananas, unfortunately, I'm sorry, apples, unfortunately, that's fine. Those are my 2 go-tos, apples and bananas. I eat an apple and banana every day. So I'm not saying that you have to give up your fruit. Really manage your servings, especially if you're trying to cut your sugars down. Think about your fruit intake. Go to a half a banana. Maybe go to half an apple, or go to your berries. Your raspberries, your strawberries, blueberries, amazing. Watch your portion sizes, which is a big deal. Your dairy. Guess what? Dairy's sugar too. All this Greek yogurt, and of course, oh, my favorite. Fat-free Greek yogurt. Fat-free yogurt. Hey, guess what? Why do you eat yogurt? For the probiotics and the fat. They've taken the fat out. What are they putting back in?
Sugar.
Right. There you go. So it's very hard to find stuff that our palates like, right? And I'm not going to lie to you. You wouldn't have caught me dead eating some of the foods that I eat now. Like, I blow my mind sometimes when I'm eating something. I'm sitting here eating, what are those little Brussels sprouts? I was digging on some Brussels sprouts the other day. My daughter and I fight over the broccoli. So it's these little bit grains. Unfortunately, they're all packed on, we were talking about this earlier, gluten. You were talking about having a gluten sensitivity or intolerance. My sister has a very bad gluten intolerance. I have a sensitivity now to gluten because I've taken it out of my diet. My body's like, what is this? This isn't real stuff. This isn't wheat-made gluten. Gluten is man-made. Yes, it comes from wheat, but the actual gluten is shoved in our food. But I can't even eat wheat now. I have to be very careful because I'm sensitive to it now, and it's because your body doesn't know how to process it. So there's simple switches you can make with that. Try to work your way. Who all eats white rice on a regular basis? Kind of, sort of. Okay, so I was a white rice eater as well. So switch your white rice. White rice turns to sugar in your body within what, I think half a second? Or 0.3 or something like that. It's yeah. Brown rice will turn to sugar in your body in about 3 seconds, depending obviously on the person's metabolism, yes. Quinoa, brown rice. Quinoa turns to sugar in your body in about 24 hours. So what I had to do, because rice tastes like cardboard, or brown rice did, so I would mix it with my daughter. My daughter was the same way when we first started this process 6 years ago. So I mixed half white, half brown, until I got used to it. And then the more and more I started, taking the white out. And then I started introducing quinoa when I learned about quinoa as, I was going through this process. And now, if I eat grains, it's quinoa, only a couple times a week. And we need carbohydrates. Don't let anybody tell you you don't need carbohydrates. You just need the majority of them to come from your vegetables. Well, then there's a whole other ballgame there. Oh, I only like sweet potatoes. Why are they called sweet potatoes? I don't like anything green. And I understand that. I have been there. My mom was an Iowa girl. We ate steak, potatoes, and corn. Well, guess what? What's corn? It's a starch, it's a filler, and 99% of it's genetically modified nowadays. The only food place I know, and please somebody tell me if there's another place that doesn't truly have genetically modified, and I don't even know if that's true, is Chipotle. Corn. But, yeah, Chipotle. But, corn. Oh crud, I'm already done.
Just keep going.
Thank you. Okay, anyway, so we talked about that. Meal prepping. Key, I can't believe I already talked 20 minutes just about that. Sorry. Okay, so meal prepping. Crock pot. We're all busy women. So I have a whole list of crock pot. If y'all make sure and leave me your email addresses, I'll send you my crock pot. I have a list of, I run, so with my Beachbody groups, I run accountability groups with my girls that are doing the home workout-based programs. And I'll give a meal plan sometimes, or meal ideas. I don't like giving plans because, even with my gym clients, I don't like to give plans because then I'm enabling them. I want you to learn to figure out how to eat. I give you a list of foods. I give you a list of like where their sugars and their carb contents are. But you always want to try to get the majority of your nutrition, obviously, from whole food sources. And like I said, Shakeology was a game changer for me because it does come from a whole food source. They process it. Yes, it's processed. It has to be processed and made into a powder, but it's processed to a point where your body still recognizes it as a whole food. So it's not going, wait, what is this pill? Because I know there's a lot of pills and the doctors want to give you all this medication. I have been able to get off. I was never put on my cholesterol meds. I was never put on my diabetes medication that I thought I was going to have to get on. So you really want to pay attention to these baby steps. Pull some of these things out. We have a container system. I'm sure y'all have seen it all over the TV. Costco has their own little system now. I think Walmart sells one now. But it's about portion sizing. Yes, do I want to help you? I love to help people. My poor child sometimes gets sick of me being on the phone, but it's because I don't want to let anybody down. I want to be there for anybody that needs me or has a question or whatnot. And I was going to give you all workout moves, but I thought I was talking twice today. I thought I was, so I was going to give you some, just let you know. Of course, you all know, several of us have talked, but if you don't have, like if you travel, I know, didn't one of you say you travel a lot? Is that you? It's no excuse. You can find something small, even if you have to just get moving, 5 times a week. 5 times a week is a good number. Try to do something with resistance. As we all age as women, do you know that we lose our type 2 muscle fibers, which are the bigger fibers, which are your quick fibers, which make us faster, your sprinting fibers, is like I like to call them. We start losing them at 32 if you don't keep them engaged. 32 years old.
Which one of those?
Those are your muscle fibers they're your faster fibers that make you be able to sprint and jump and whatnot. So those fibers are very important. They're all in your legs. But just keeping your body moving, whether it's a walk every day or whether it's a workout video in your hotel room. I have bands and to show you a couple things, but take some bands with you when you travel. Come home and do, at least 20 minutes to 30 minutes of something. I know we all have busy schedules. I don't like to get up early. Get up a little bit early. I do not in the evening. Squeeze it in on your lunch break, whatever it may be. But I'm always glad to give any tips, advice, direction. I may not know. I'll see if I can find out for you. If I can't educate you or educate myself, I will refer you to somebody that can help you. But anyway, and then we also have really quick Beachbody on Demand, which is little videos that are on demand that you can do in the thing. So anyway, so I will let y'all. Thank you. I'll turn it back to Janice. Thank y'all for listening to me.
Thank you very much. And I did order the Shakeology, and I've been using that. And I love that, and I brought my husband some. He's sharing it too.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. Now, we are moving along. Any questions for Brenda? Anything?
Yes, ma'am.
How can I measure 25 grams of sugar? Would
How
you
can you
like a
measure it?
teaspoon or what would it be? Yes, ma'am.
So, what's going on here? What I like to tell my clients at the beginning is I don't like to calorie count I don't want you to have to calorie count the rest of your life. I don't want you to have to count points. I know the Weight Watchers system has a point system, which is fabulous. So it's a matter of, but at the beginning, when you're trying to learn your portion sizing and what's going to work for you as you tweak things, I like to send people to MyFitnessPal, and you can log your food there, and it'll give you, especially if it's something, I hate saying box stuff, but try to get away, obviously, from anything that's processed, and that is a process. I was a single mom. I went to Hamburger Helper. I went to stuff in the fridge. So to log it in MyFitnessPal, it'll tell you where you're at, and you can also scan if you have something that's scannable. You can scan from your phone, because it's an app as well as a computer, and you can scan it, and it'll automatically pop up. But I mean, you can go in there and say Chili's margarita rolled chicken, and it's going to be in there.
I guess I was saying, like, would it be like a teaspoon of sugar, like 25 grams? I guess that's what I was.
Oh, 25 grams.
A visual.
Oh,
25
visual.
grams of sugar.
The actual sugar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to get a visual of like.
How much is that? I should measure out 25 grams and.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's not even like a tablespoon. It's more.
Yeah, I'll have to, but visually, I actually did a post one time of my, how much sugar one of my clients was drinking, a juicing place. That's what all her meals were. 4 meals a day for her juices. And she was getting 142 grams or something like that of sugar just in the juice. Forget about everything else that she was doing. So I took a picture, and it was like almost an entire box of the sugar packets of her sugar. But I'll have to do that, 25 grams. I'll do that, and I'll do a post on it on my Facebook. And it's my like page is Fun Size Fitness. There's another one out there that says Fun Sized Fitness, I think, but you'll see a picture of me. But it's just Fun Size Fitness.
And organic versus regular food.
Depends on the food. Organic, you want, like if you're going fruit, something like that. And it depends. Organic is so marketed so well. Anything that has like a hard outside, like your avocados, let's say for instance, it's rubber. That's latex basically. What's on the outside of an avocado? I mean, not like latex is in a glove, but yes, it is. It's from a rubber plant.
That's safe, you're saying, or not?
For organic, you don't need to get organic avocados, in my opinion, because when it has a hard outside, like oranges, it has an hard outside, so the pesticides aren't easily absorbed. Strawberries, your blueberries, your blackberries, all that stuff.
It's easily infiltrated by the pesticides.
Yes, there you go.
So I guess my best suggestion for organic, I'm trying to get, because I have to picture stuff so I can know how to like relate when I go to the store. So basically what you're saying is when I pick fruit that have covering, bananas, stuff that you have to either have to peel or something like that.
Now I have to admit, organic bananas do taste totally different than your non-organic bananas.
Well,
They have better taste.
and I was looking at a report that was given to Congress in even 2007, and our food is 70% less nutritious than it was 70 years ago.
Yes.
Like it's lost 10%.
Yes, our soils are so depleted.
And they're depleted because we use nitrogen agrochemicals to farm, the pesticides, like Roundup. And so because of those agrochemicals, our soil doesn't have the microbiome to support the nutrition. Right, we're killing the earth.
Yes.
So our food cannot absorb it. Then we overfarm, we don't rotate crops, we don't let the soil rest.
Sister.
And I know all this because I'm from an agricultural family that farms peanuts, cotton, wheat, and they all do Monsanto GMO crap.
Yeah.
So I get irritated because all our allergies, if you look at the onset of allergies, started about 1992 when they put Michael Taylor over the FDA, who was the lead attorney who fought for Monsanto to not test GMO crops against regular food. So they put him in over the FDA and then pushed GMO modified cropping out to all the farmers and said, if you want subsidized farming, you will grow this. And so the farmer went,
Food Matters?
okay.
Wow.
Is that in Food Matters?
It actually was
Don't even get me started on chickens and cows.
Just on chicken, because I just stopped eating chicken. and it was a spiritual thing. Because I've been meditating, and I didn't know once you, we like so off text. I was meditating, and it says once you start, once get into meditation, spirituality is my reason for meditation. And once you get more spiritual, your food actually start changing. And I am a person who has been eating chicken every day for 43 years, every day. 2 days ago, after a spiritual overload or something, I went to eat chicken, and my spirit was like, I'm not eating chicken. And y'all can this can sound crazy to you, but actually on the inside, I could actually feel visualize my spirit walking back and forth saying, I don't want this chicken. And I'm study trying to make myself eat it. That made me regurgitate it. And I'm okay, so I've been eating chicken all my life. Why is it a bad thing now? Mm-hmm. And what it kept giving me to visualize is when I was cleaning the chicken, all that mucousy stuff under the skin, and that one string of when you cleaning a thigh, every time you come out the end of the thigh toward the leg, there's this string that has to pop to separate it, to put your seasoning on there, and that was the vision it gave me to keep me from eating chicken. And so now every time I try to eat chicken, it pops it up. I saw that it was keeping me from eating. Then I didn't eat my oxtail either, because I gave up beef in the same sentence. I was like, well, if I can't eat chicken, I'm not going to eat the cow.
And on that same note, whether it be something spiritual or your taste buds change, whether it's, they say every 7 years, always try something. I want to tell you something really quick. My mother has this thing about vegetables. I made her close her eyes one day, and I don't remember what it was I fed her. It was like cauliflower or something. I was like, keep your eyes closed. How did that taste? What? She has no clue what I'm giving her. She was like, oh, it was okay. And she was like, it wasn't bad. And she goes, what was it? And I don't remember cauliflower rubber. Immediately, spit it all out. I was like, really? Are you two really wrong? Because it's all in our head. We think it's gross, especially if you don't grow up in a family that's constantly eating vegetables. I did not. She did not. And so always, like I said, I would have never, ever, 3 years ago, thought I would eat mushrooms.
I have the rule of 3.
Yeah.
You have to take 3 bites.
Yeah.
Because you've already programmed, I don't like that, that's a vegetable.
Yes. Yes. So we've got to do it as adults. And we've
So
got to
it's
do
all
it
really
as
free.
women.
I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
I'm grandparents. I'm getting grandparents.
They had, they said they didn't like it, so they had 3 bites.
Yes. Yeah.
And then once they had 3 bites, then they could decide they didn't like it.
Yes. Does anybody else have any other questions? Or we can talk later, or I'm sure one of these ladies.
Wayne,
Yes.
best way to cook vegetables. I know you're supposed to
It
steam.
depends on the vegetable, of
It
course.
is, okay.
There's a whole list of, that's something else that.
Broccoli and cabbage.
Steam. Stay away from the cans. I will admit, I, for whatever reason, cannot eat green beans unless they're canned. I don't know why, which is not good. But, it depends on the vegetable, tomatoes. Tomatoes, for instance. You get the different, nutrients of a tomato better when it's steamed. Sometimes you get a different part, the lycopene, if I remember correctly, it's better raw. I think it's better raw. So it just kind of depends on the vegetable, but you don't ever want to boil. Boiling, do you know anything that's good boiled?
You don't want to boil. Because here's the thing, when you submerge your vegetables in water,
The water.
the nutrition leaches out into the water. So unless you're gonna drink that water, you just washed all the nutrients down the drain. So if you're gonna do anything, you wanna steam it.
Yeah.
And you don't want a boiling, rolling steam.
Yeah.
You want a low simmer steam.
Yes.
Just to that almost boil point.
Okay.
See, and I will admit, this is where I have a fault. I hate the kitchen. I would blow up the kitchen if I could blow up the kitchen. I hate it. I can tell you what to eat. I can kind of tell you how to cook. I have ideas. I can research stuff. One of Chad's clients, I'm admitting something here. She is a personal chef, and so I train her mom, and she makes me food.
That's awesome.
Sauteed
zucchinis, yellow and green, and I saute them in grapeseed.
I'll do
oil
grapeseed.
or coconut oil.
Coconut.
Is that
I love
okay?
coconut.
Yes.
And then I put balsamic sometimes in it, or definitely mushrooms with red wine. I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
that's good.
Yeah.
The biggest thing with your oils, you want to be careful of like your avocado oil.
Yeah.
Avocado
Or
oil
anything.
is heavily adulterated, meaning it is cut with other oils or it is already bad by the time it's on the shelf, or they didn't even process it right.
Yeah, and if you get to it the wrong temperature, like olive oil, it'll start going rancid, and you.
So you need to look for olive oil. For here in the States, really, the best olive oil is like the California olive oil. And on the back, it has the date where they like harvested it and an expiration date. You don't want to use it really like 6 months. It should be gone within that time period. Yeah.
Olive oil?
And you can't keep it forever.
Yeah, it goes bad.
Yikes, I didn't know that.
Okay, so which one is the better one? You said the California, is that the one that they use?
The California olive oil here in the States would be the easiest to identify that is not adulterated. If you're buying any of the like the Filipino or all of that oil, unless it says it's like specifically imported from Italy and is from Italian oil, Italy olives, or Spain olives, and then bottled somewhere else, you don't want that.
Okay. So,
Interesting, I didn't know that.
I'm looking for imported from California.
Stick to
Is that the Pompeian kind, the pasture?
Okay, no.
Okay, so it's good for soul, but it's not good for food, okay? Definitely not.
You might want to anoint yourself with it.
Good kind that I can cook with, and it'd be like double, like multi-tasking, like, oh, take it to church.
Hello, I am Janet Jackson. I am a licensed massage therapist. I have been practicing since 1994. I am also a Young Living Wellness advocate for essential oils. And so that's really more of what I'm going to address today is using essential oils for your health and knowing and my story of how I got down this path and this journey for wellness. So as a massage therapist, I've always used essential oils in my business. And through that, I've had various education upon years, probably half a dozen classes on aromatherapy. Every class I took talked about using purity. And this is why I'm big on even the avocado oil purity thing, because while they said that, they never said this is how you find or define purity. And so through my journey as a massage therapist, I was praying in 2013 after my husband's battle with cancer for a direction for the Lord to lead me. I love massage therapy, but it's a very physical field. And you can only do so many massages a day before you're burned out. And I love to give my clients 110% of what they're paying for a massage. So I only do 3 to 4 clients in a day, ever. I will not do more than that because I want my first client and my last client to have the same amount of work, the same caliber of work. So I always want that person to get up off the table and say, oh man, that was the best massage ever. And so with using essential oils, I was educated that use purity, 100% pure, but no one ever defined purity. In 2013, I decided I had all these people coming to me, I think because I was a massage therapist, asking me to come to class. And I'm like, what? Like, you're not even a massage therapist. Why would I go to your class? But okay. And I just would kind of push them away nicely and gently, but I kept praying. Lord, I need you to show me a new path. And we were having various health issues in our family, from ADD, ADHD, which my husband and my child was, and then I have an older daughter that's 20 in April, and she has anxiety issues, and then my husband who was having migraine headaches. Before he had cancer, he would have them sporadically. After he went through cancer treatment, if you know anything about chemo and what it does to your body, he was having migraines 5 to 7 days a week. Sometimes 2 to 3 times in one day. So I just started praying, Lord, I need you to show me a new path. I need direction. We need to get our family well. I don't like the path we're taking at this point. I don't like all the medications. The cancer treatment had left him with Raynaud's, and also besides the migraines. And so their answer was, here, we'll send you to another doctor, and you're going to be put on blood pressure medication during the winter, because Raynaud's, you lose blood circulation to your fingertips and your toes, and they turn white. Raynaud's syndrome?
Raynaud?
Raynaud's.
Not.
Raynauds. And so I wanted to find a better way to deal with our health and our wellness. And so I'm praying, and people keep asking me to this class, and I'm like, yeah, no. And so I thought, you know what? All these people keep coming to me and asking me to this. What is going on? So I thought, well, I'm going to look at continuing education to renew my license. I'm going to look into this aromatherapy thing and see what other classes I can find for my license. And so I decided I would take this aromatherapy continuing education in 2013 as I'm renewing my license. And this company, Young Living, doTERRA, Rocky Mountain, several different essential oil companies were talked about. But one stood out to me far beyond the rest. And it stood out to me because they have a seed to seal process. And that seed to seal process is this. They only buy farms that have been pesticide-free for 50 years. They have to be certified. If they've ever had pesticides on them before. Or it has to be completely raw land, like forest, that area that they're going in, and they're clearing the land to put in farms. And so you would not have pesticides on that, because you typically don't spray pesticides on that. And so then the next thing was that they used all organic seed from one crop to the next when they harvest. And then they had no pesticides on their farm. They did all their weeding by hand, and they did all their own distilling. So their distilleries were actually on the farm. The second thing about the distilling is that some companies distill in aluminum, and I don't know if any of y'all are aware how toxic aluminum is to your brain. It has been proven that it causes Alzheimer's and dementia, and aluminum has also been linked to breast cancer. So if you want pure essential oils and you don't want those contaminants in it, then you've got to make sure of the distilling process that your company you're using is using safe methods of distilling. And so Young Living uses stainless steel, and then they distill their oils at low pressure and low heat. And that is important as a massage therapist to me, because, and as a mom and as a wife, when I put oils on my kid, I want it to be because of the therapeutic value that it exhibits in the body. If it doesn't have a therapeutic value in the body because it's a perfume grade oil, then I'm not going to see the same results. And I've used various oils from various companies and compared them, and I did not have the same results as a massage therapist. As a massage therapist, I thought, oh, it just smells good. I did not see in the clinical aspect respiratory support, muscular support, cardiovascular support, nervous system support for like issues with anxiety. And so as we began to delve into this, we started being able to remove medications that our family was on. In 2014, when I started with Young Living, I was having a bunch of issues with seasonal respiratory stuff, and everyone has their own season, right? And so what I started with was lemon, lavender, and peppermint. I cannot believe the difference. I have not taken any allergy medication since 2014. I love using lemon, lavender, and peppermint to support my respiratory health. It also supports, like, if you get allergies, how many of you get itchy skin when you get allergy issues, or itchy eyes, or roof of your mouth, or itchy ears? Any of that, all of it is taken care of with using lemon, lavender, and peppermint. So it's like the bomb for me. Then from there, we delved into using essential oils for our focus and our concentration. I was able to help my child focus more in school, do better in school with better grades, without all the chemicals. And there's many oils that support cognition. There's formulations or what are called synergies, like brain power, that have frankincense in them, or cedarwood. And we know that those are biblical oils. When they talk about frankincense in the Bible, it is always to anoint a king. That is why Jesus was given frankincense as his birth, because he was the Christ child, the king. And so it's important to realize the biblical account of using oils for medicinal purposes all throughout history, from the beginning of creation to where we are today. And the other one is cedarwood. When you think of King Solomon's temple, what was it made of? Cedar. Well, I can just imagine him being in that temple and smelling the aroma, which helps your brain be open to hearing God's voice. And so it's more of like a spiritual oil. So there's a spirituality to oils. There's also an emotional component to oils. How many of you get angry at something? Something always angers you. You don't know why, but it'll set you off faster than anything. So, do you know where anger's stored?
No, I don't. Can we figure it out?
Anger's stored in the liver.
The level.
The liver. So, the liver stores anger.
Is that what my stomach hurt right there?
It could be. So anger is stored into the liver, and one of the ways you can do emotional release with essential oils is like there's an essential oil called purification to help you release anger. When we store those emotions in our body, like anger, hate, bitterness, those emotions come out in our body as illness, disease. Not only that, they are encoded in our DNA if we don't deal with them. And the Bible says they're passed on to the third and fourth generation.
What's that? Say that again. Repeat this.
That when we don't deal with the emotions properly and we stuff them,
Transgression.
that it is written into our DNA coding. And so that DNA coding is passed down to our children. So it could be something that you set your mom off or your dad off. That's something that gets, you get mad at it now, but you've never understood why.
I know we're supposed to wait till the end to ask questions. Would that be like, because I have a daughter, and it's like when I ride in the car with her, listening to her, talking to her boyfriend, it just irks me because she is so much like me. And I'm like, I don't want you to be this way when you're like 40-something years old. I'm like, you gotta change this. And her thing is always like, Mama, but I'm just like you. And I'm like, no. That's totally wrong. Like, this is not how I want you to be.
It is totally written into their DNA.
Okay,
to
what's
be
the
like
word
you.
from there?
Purification. There's actually a whole set of emotional release oils, and there's actually a whole protocol. I do have purification.
That is my.
Do I have any of that?
Yes, you have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
my word.
I need it.
I gotta get something.
So, can you imagine how many disease processes, drug addictions, alcoholism probably is related to this pent-up anger that is stored in the body that has been passed down from one generation to the next? And if we could just start releasing those emotional patterns by setting our body free, letting it let go of those entwined DNA patterns, and getting release from them through God's guidance and through using essential oils, which is what God did through the whole Bible, how it could transform our society, our generation, our kids' generation, our grandkids' generations. And that's one of the things that's important to me as using oils for emotional release, because I'm a victim of domestic violence. I was abused as a kid, and so.
Can you tell that story?
Yes, I will. So, my mom and my dad divorced when I was about 3 years old. My mom quickly married by the time I was 4. My dad completely disappeared from my life. I don't even remember him being involved in my life until I was 10 again. At 4 years old, once my mom got remarried, sexual abuse started in. So as young as I can remember, that's all I remember is sexual abuse. I had a situation in which I had to have emergency surgery due to the abuse. And my mom asked me after the surgery, who did this to you? And she said, my stepfather did this. And I said, yes. Because I didn't really just say him by name, but I just answered her question, yes or no. And so my mom really didn't do anything about it. And one of my cousins, who's 15 years, our birthday's the exact same date. We're 15 years apart. I'm at her house. Her mom's babysitting. She's actually like 25. And I'm telling her I don't want to go home. And she's like, why? Why don't you want to go home? And I'm crying and I don't want to go home. Please don't make me go home. And so she gets me to finally tell her, and she cannot believe what she hears. She decides she's going to get a mini tape recorder, and she gets me to tell her again. She records it, and she takes it to my uncle, James Rowe, who is chief of police in the small town I grew up with, and submits the abuse on audio tape to him that I have been going through from the time I'm 4 and now I'm 7. And they come in, DPS comes in, they take us away, they put us in foster care. I had never spent the night with anybody but my mom and my stepdad or my grandparents. So I got really, really sick. And they were like, how do we put this child on the stand? She can't keep any food down. Whatever I ate, I threw up. The only thing I could keep down was Sprite, chicken broth, Jell-O. And they're like, we've got to get her. Her emotional trauma is overloading right now, and her body is not processing anything. So what they decided to do was actually put me in care of my grandfather, but they wanted me to, but we were still in custody of the state. So it's me, my sister, my half-brother. There's 4 of us. We're living in my grandfather's care. My grandfather farms all day long. So the great aunt, whose daughter I told about the abuse, is watching us during the day. She's in her mid-60s, maybe 70s by this point. Well, my mom, during a social work visit, tells me, I'm going to come kidnap you. I'm going to come get you. And so I was like, okay. Because as a kid, who do you want to be with? You want to be with your mom. It doesn't matter how bad of a mom they are. You love them. That is the way we are created. We are created to attach to our mom and our dad. It doesn't matter how abusive or neglectful or whatever it is that they do. And so I didn't tell the social worker. They decided that my mom couldn't see us because they knew she said something because they saw her whisper to me. So my mom did come by. It was after Easter in 1981. She kidnapped us, all 4 of us, and we started on the run for the next 2 years. We lived in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Arizona, Canada, Utah, and Bakersfield, and Springfield, Colorado, all in 2 years. Most of that time, I was either living in a tent and not going to school, and when I did go to school, I went to school in Arizona, and I went to school in Bakersfield, California. When I did go to school, I went to school under fictitious names. When the FBI found us in 1983, we were brought back to Texas to testify. This is where my case changes Texas history. My case caused the law to be written that the videotaping law, where they can videotape minor children under the age of 18, if it will cause irreparable psychological harm to put them on the stand, that law was written during 1983 when Mark White was governor. And so I testified via either closed doors or through the video. And my stepfather got 40 or 45 years originally. He won and a reappeal. So I'm telling you this because I want you to realize there are people in your lives that you don't know anything about. true. You think people have to be registered sex offenders. They don't. If they were off of probation by September 1st, 1995, they do not have to be a registered sex offender. Because my stepdad's probation ended in July of 1995 before that law went into effect September 1st, 1995. So he does not have to be a registered sex offender. And so it saddens me because I know he went on to marry and have other kids that he could be physically and sexually abusing. And probably more likely than not, because that's not typically something you change about a person. God can. But I've listened to a lot of people who have been in that lifestyle, and they say it's not something, even with God, they can never put themselves in a situation where they're alone with kids. And so the trauma of that is something I've had to work through and release and allow God to take me through different things. And so I was totally amazed with the feelings kit, because it has an oil called Trauma Life, which helps you release that kind of trauma in your life and work through it emotionally. There's also one called Inner Child, and Inner Child helps you kind of get back to that safe being of who you are. There's an oil called Forgiveness and Hope, Harmony, so that you can come to a harmonious place with what's in your past, and then you can get up from there and move forward. So, and I'll probably leave it at that, because I know that's way probably more than 30
What is the
minutes.
first one you said after before intro?
Trauma Life?
And those before you?
Yes. And those are all synergistic blends. So they have like, a synergy means it's more than one oil. So one oil typically is a plant that you know, like peppermint or lavender or lemon, frankincense. Those are a blend of oils. And Young Living distills more than any other company, because they do have farms all around the world and they have their own distilleries. So while said company A might make an agreement with farmer A, B, and C to grow this, and that farmer may distill it, another company may distill it, and then they sell it to that bottler. Young Living does not really do that. They own their farms. So that's why it's important to me to educate people about purity, because I want them putting something safe on their family that really is going to support their emotional, mental, spiritual well-being aspects.
And how can we contact you? I mean, I know, but they don't.
Yes. I have my business card right here, and I actually have put a sample with each one. It's either peppermint or lavender. Lavender is a great thing to put on your pillow at night, or you can put it in an Epsom salt bath with like a cup of Epsom salt. It is a great way to detox your body. You want to soak for about 20 minutes in that.
Soaking to detox?
Yes, soaking to detox, because Epsom salt is made of magnesium sulfate, and the salt actually pulls out toxins in your body, while the magnesium works as a muscle relaxer.
Really?
Yes.
If I have a lot of my clients do that.
Yes, and so it's great for after workouts, especially like when you increase like weights or anything like that, or do something new in your routine, and you're gonna be sore and you wanna get that lactic acid out. That's a great thing to do.
And add coconut oil
Yes.
I like to do it, instead of putting it in the tub, put it on especially the spots you know you've hurt, like my hips have always, I'm gonna be in a wheelchair in 20 years. But the coconut oil actually helps the potassium and magnesium infuse your skin better.
Yeah, and so like if you wanted to, you could run a bath and mix your oils into your salt, and then take a little bit out and mix it with coconut oil. You can melt the coconut oil on the stove. It's real easily. Don't microwave it. Microwave destroys. Microwaves emit radiation. Well, if you're radiating your food, what does radiation do when you go get it? Cancer screenings.
Yes.
You're giving yourself cancer, right? So you're giving yourself cells something that can mutate it. So It does the same thing to your food when you put it in the microwave. It destroys everything that's good about it. So if you can do low heat, coconut oil pretty much melts at like 80, 85 degrees, so doesn't take that much heat. You could probably get a cup of hot water and set a bowl inside of it like a bain-marie and melt that. You could pour the oil into your Epsom salt and then do a salt scrub like I would as a massage therapist. It sloughs all that dry skin off, so then your body can absorb all that nutrition. It moisturizes your skin. When you get in that bath, you get out, you'll be like, oh yeah, my skin's like butter.
What about putting Panaway on your sore spots before you get in the bathtub with your coconut oil?
You can do Panaway. Panaway is an oil that is for muscular discomforts. And I do have the kit here, if y'all want the everyday oil kit that you can smell. The oil, there's Panaway in there, there's purification, lavender, and then Young Living is the only company that does this. They have a vitality line. And these oils aren't any different than, you can get lavender just this way, but Young Living has gone and put a white vitality label on their vitality line to let you know what oils are ingestible. So anything that has this white label, you can put in a capsule and you can ingest it, you can put it to food. There's recipes for lavender ice cream, there's recipes for peppermint brownies, there's recipes with lemon in your avocado dip, there's thieves tea that supports a respiratory system during cold flu season that's really nice and soothing to your throat. Copa Even. This one also comes as a vitality. It's real soothing, warming. It supports your natural recovery process, so it's another great oil to use with Panaway, especially after working out. Purification is great for all things stinky. I also use this instead of dryer sheets. I don't know if any of you know how toxic dryer sheets and laundry detergent is, but it's extremely toxic. I'm gonna give y'all a challenge. There's an app called Think Dirty.
Think
Dirty.
Think or think?
Think Dirty. I want you to go scan something in 3 cabinets at home and find out how toxic your stuff is.
So, question, I've changed my detergents over, I use the thieves, but, when it comes to dryer sheets, how do you?
So get wool dryer balls.
Get what?
Wool dryer balls.
Okay.
You can find them on Etsy. Some Sprouts might have them. And I put purification or lavender. Those are my favorite to put on the dryer balls and put in my laundry. Because, guys, I'm serious. Like, the laundry sheets are so toxic. And we're putting, as women, we're using 515 chemicals a day that contribute to cancer. A day. 515. A day.
Not anymore. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's take a break and come back in about 5 minutes. And I think we can bring in the pastries and the grapes, because I think the guests in the hotel think that they're theirs.
Oh no! Well, here we'll be helping ourselves. Yeah, we got some free munchies.
Yeah, I think that, what a great idea. And we'll some,
Regina is in here.
no, she texted me, she's not coming, she's sick.
Did you want me to?
I'm gonna do some fun, I got it. Okay, so I'm still after lunch? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm still, I got it.
I didn't know if you wanted me to switch.
I'm sick, I can't make it. Oh, no. It's too bad.
Yes, it comes in this kit, and the kit comes with a diffuser, and that's the whole salt starter kit. So when you buy a whole salt kit, it's just like having a Santa Costco membership, like 25%
Still show you.
Yes.
This will be actually.
So, and that's the great thing, like, I love this because they have a whole clean line that's not toxic, there's no, this is all made from plants. The toothpaste, hand sanitizer, hand soap, cleaning for the home, mouthwash, toothpaste, and then this is oil, and then, he does. Fruit, veggie wash.
Okay.
Dishwasher detergent, so there's no chemicals that you have to be afraid of in those products. You know what's crazy? They do, because one of my friends, her 18-year-old son, you know how when on t-shirts that have that regulations will get from the other, like Kelly and Love? She just decided to change to the thieves. And she washed his shirt. She didn't tell us. And he was like, Mom, what did you do different? And she's like,
No, but I told
I don't know why. He was like, you know how the shirts were getting wet under the armpits from the deodorant? She goes, that's all gone. And I want your tablespoon because it's so concentrated. Yeah, so it's amazing. And in here is orange and peppermint. That's all.
I got them, rock
He's
salt.
normally
Email there.
Well, I know how to I call
an Asian.
and I send them the applications. I don't.
Where,
You're absolutely right. You have to call you, and you have to.
Every day.
You just say what you want.
Well, especially right now with it being spring, she might be allergic to the grass and trees.
She's allergic to that.
He knows she's ready for that.
Everything.
So she's just got seasonal all year round.
And it's so soft. I said, there's going to be something. Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
Right. I wonder,
That we have got to do, so when you go off to college,
right,
because I don't want to.
fester up and cause a sinus infection or anything like that. Yeah, and so these are the three I do for seasonal support, lemon, lavender, and peppermint. You can do all of those all three ways. So there's three ways to use essential oils. Topically, straight on the skin, or with a carrier oil, diffusing, or internal in a capsule. So all the dietary line